a message popped up on the screen from a girl's name I didn't know. And it literally said, "Are you coming over later?
Oh,
I miss you." I just froze. I didn't even yell. I just asked who that was, and he immediately ripped the cord out of his phone and started acting super jumpy. He told me I misread it and that it was actually a text from his sister asking about dinner.
Oh.
I told him his sister has a different name, and he just started raising his voice saying I'm paranoid and always looking for a reason to fight.
The beautiful thing is we're all human. This all happens. You can do whatever you want. There's consequences, but do whatever you want.
People are going to do what they want to do.
100%.
Bottom line.
The baby's crying and the dog's barking. I'm like, you're bad. Welcome to Two Girls, One Thread.
Okay, Kath, I got a question for you. What is a tiny thing that makes you irrationally angry?
I think if I am at a store and ask an employee for help and they seem frustrated by me asking them to do their job.
So it must be tough for you to live in LA then. Because nobody wants to be working here, baby. Everybody's like, I belong on the stage or the screen. I can't believe I'm serving you an $8 coffee. What do you do? What does it look like when you overreact? I don't know if I've ever seen that.
Yeah, I guess it's more internally. I kind of
What goes on internally?
laugh about it. But I mean, it happens obviously quite a bit at the time. And maybe sometimes in traffic, people can be the opposite of defensive in terms of their driving. So when they kind of cut you off. Yeah.
Well, everyone here is like, obviously you're looking at me, so you'll notice what I'm doing, right? So then
That's true. I do love, especially on the road, I feel like I notice white men especially will like, if you, for example, if I, let's say, cut someone off or merge into a lane, they make a point to go out of their way to kind of confront you car to car.
Yes.
But I only notice that from white men.
Yes, that is factual.
Yeah. They love giving that feedback.
Right. They like to pull up next to you, make sure that that you see their dirty look, or like tailgate you kind of hard. And it's like, they just want to feel, I think, seen, because they're like, well, did they notice my huge mirrors on the side? Did they notice my LED lights? Maybe they didn't notice my ugly mug, so I got to get
How about
close. You? What?
Irrational.
Oh.
Overreaction.
Overreaction. I would say I think I get probably irrationally angry when I'm in like a coffee shop or a public setting like that, and there are people that act like I am coming in with my laptop and posting up in their living room.
Okay.
No headphones, not a care in the world, the socks are off, just loud. That is ultimately tough for me because we live in a society and sometimes people forget that. I think it's an internal experience. I do a lot of like turning over my shoulder and like staring just like continuously, which is probably just going to get my ass kicked and not actually resolve the situation. But that is the truth. What about interpersonally? What's something really small that makes you have a big reaction?
Probably when someone shoots down your suggestion or plan and doesn't provide an alternative idea. Because I think a lot of work can go into coming up with an idea.
Of course.
And you present that. Obviously, we both have to agree. But I do find it frustrating when you shoot down my proposal and don't come up with one of your own. Right.
Because it's easy to be a hater and it's hard to be creative. Yeah. Tina Fey talks about that in her book, Bossy Pants. I think that's valid, though. I think it's valid to feel like that.
How about you?
Nothing. I mean, I've never been upset interpersonally in my life, so I can't really imagine what that's like. I don't know. Yeah, overreact. I mean, I feel like all my feelings are justified, but I don't like it when people act overly familiar with me.
Okay.
That I don't really fuck with. I don't like that energy. I don't like when people like speak for me or like, oh, that's a classic. I don't know you, King. Keep my name out of your mouth. I feel like that happens a lot. And I think it's irrational that I respond that strongly, but that is the truth. Welcome to Two Girls, One Thread. Guess what? Today we're talking about, am I overreacting? The answer in most cases is, of course, yes. Right? But some people are underreacting, actually.
Yeah.
Some people need to wake the fuck up. Not us, though. We're online, right, Kath?
Yeah, and we felt like with March Madness going on, madness is kind of in the zeitgeist.
Yes.
So, am I overreacting was fitting for that.
I agree. And maybe we'll bracket it out and we'll do what you got to teach me how to gamble, though.
See what the odds are.
Yeah, exactly. My guess is that everyone is overreacting today. But you want to kick us off?
Sounds good. Am I overreacting for wanting to immediately break up with my boyfriend after seeing how he lives?
Oh.
27 female dating a 35 male. We've been together for 2 years long distance. We met online at a game, and I finally got the chance to go see him. He never really showed off his place while on video. He was always out and about when we were on call, or in his bedroom where all you can see is one wall and his window. It suddenly all makes sense now why he's never shown off his place to me, but it's not something I ever really thought about in the moment, you know? I never thought to myself, man, how come he never shows his kitchen sink to me? And stuff like that. I was just enjoying talking to him regardless of where he was. The shower reeked of onions, and Google said that's from bacteria. I immediately don't want him touching me or anything and can't believe someone would live like this. He didn't see the problem. I can't make heads or tails of it. He obviously didn't want me knowing, or he would have shown me his place in the last 2 years, but he clearly didn't even try to clean up before I came, so it also feels like he doesn't care at the same time. He never seemed mentally unwell the whole time I've known him, but he's clearly not right in the head if he's living like this, right? I feel extremely disgusted and confused right now. The evidence is contradictory. Never showed me his place like he was ashamed of it and trying to hide it, but obviously never made any attempt to clean before I showed up as if it doesn't bother him. He's acting weird about it all, and I just want gone from here. I feel like I've got something now from him touching me. That's where he cleans himself. That's his cleanest place in his house. The scrubby is just laying in shit at the bottom of the shower. He probably has been using that for years, for all I know. Sitting in a parking lot right now and don't know what to do. I don't want to go back. I'm not sure if I even want to see him again. He expects me back. I'm supposed to be picking us up food. I am in full flight mode right now. Yeah, sure, I love him like nothing else, but I just can't reconcile this. I don't want to go back. I don't want to sleep over, but I also don't want to hurt him. Do I just stay the night, play it cool, and leave without a fuss? Just go no contact after? He's such an amazing guy, but he's clearly very sick if he thinks living like this is okay. I'm freaking out just thinking about him wanting to do anything with me tonight. Has his bed ever been washed before? Probably not. Everything stinks in his place. He looks clean, but he stinks like his place does. I think the only thing he washes are his clothes and himself, but he's washing them in the nastiest place. I thought I was going to marry this man someday, and now I never want to see him again. Am I overreacting? Am I being too harsh? Reacting too quickly? I've never seen anyone actually live like this before. I'm sick to my stomach thinking about going back. This was supposed to be a wonderful week of finally getting to see him, and I'm sat here trying to figure out how to go home on Monday already. Edit, so I've gotten like 400 comments in 15 minutes. I'm reading everything that I can and trying to reply in some things. Overwhelming consensus. Well, I guess we'll wait.
Okay. So this is her first time meeting her boyfriend in person. They met in a game.
In the game.
So, like, is it a virtual reality thing? Because, like, he could have created, like, if it's Sims or, like, one of those other games, you know, he could have, like, created, like, a really sexy room that makes it seem like he's pretty...
With, like, an AI backdrop.
Yeah, like, pretty decked out.
So she's saying, do I just stay the night, play cool, and leave without a fuss? Just go no contact after.
Right. I think she might be overreacting in some ways, but in general, not. I think they're not going to stay together. She loves him, but she also is like jumping out of her skin. I think if she's ready to go, I'm going to grab us dinner, and she's ready to just drive away or fly back home, it's worth a conversation. It's worth bringing it up directly, but she's literally calling the guy mentally ill and unwell, and she's crawling out of her skin. He smells like shit. The apartment smells like shit. The shower smells like onions. I don't think it's a match made in heaven. I think it's a good reality check for her that she likely shouldn't seek she should maybe be, it sounds like that's pretty important to her. And, I mean, that would be important to me too, but it sounds like maybe she'll learn an important lesson from this. When you're FaceTiming, let me go ahead and see a 360 shot, baby, not just your window in the corner. So I don't think she's overreacting. I think that she shouldn't just go no contact and ghost him. I think she should tell him, and then maybe, depending on his response, she goes and gets a hotel that night, or an Airbnb.
I think a hotel's a great call.
Or a hostel under a bridge. It sounds like it would be cleaner than what this guy's living in.
Yeah, you'll get like an SUV rental car.
Yeah. But
camp out in the back.
I think may as well at this point. But I think like the deception part of it, like what was he going to tell her? Hey, by the way, like I love you so much. I live like an absolute pig, and you're probably not going to like it. And him, he's not trying. He doesn't care. He doesn't care to do it for himself. So why would he care to do it for you?
Yeah. And I do think that men and women can differ in their standards of cleanliness.
Absolutely.
This sounds incredibly extreme.
Yes.
I am surprised though that these sorts of like indicators wouldn't have presented over the course of 2 years to see like how conscientious someone is.
Yes.
Like, is he a full-time gamer? Does he have a job? I think you can there is a lot of growing up that comes, especially with men and sort of pride of place. Maybe he's young, but I'm just surprised that there wasn't an indicator.
Right. I think there were. I mean, but isn't he 35?
Oh yeah, he's 35.
So for men, we're like, okay, like by the time you're 40, maybe, you could learn how to change your sheets or something. Meanwhile, like didn't you learn how to do laundry when you were a kid or something like that? I mean, what would you do in this situation?
I would get a hotel room.
Yeah.
Grab a last meal with him, the last supper, and say thanks for the memories.
Oh,
and
thanks
then
for the memories. Yeah.
Stay alone in the hotel room.
Yeah. Right. Because then he's going to come into the hotel room, and then it's going to smell like onions and shit.
Yeah, completely. I mean, I think pheromones are real, which is nice. And that's, I think, the one issue with AI and digital relationships is the only thing that can't be replicated is smell.
Right.
And yeah, that's a fundamental factor in attraction.
Huge. Absolutely. So, I mean, that actually makes me think, though, that ChatGPT could actually be a good option for a partner because they're definitely clean. I mean, they might be draining the earth of all of its water, but you're not going to have to worry about a stinky bathroom. So that's kind of cool. But I mean, we wish them well. What's the edit or the overwhelming response
so it's
of everybody?
Overwhelming consensus is don't go back. I really don't want to. I just don't know how to not hurt him in the process. Edit 2, thanks for the offers to help by getting me a hotel and other such things, but I came with enough money for a trip back or anything else I might need, so I shouldn't have any problems there.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, it might hurt his feelings, but also she might be doing him a service for the next person that's coming down the pipe, for the next person that can't, is just like looking at the little screen.
I think so too. And the reality is they have shared 2 years together. So I think from that perspective, I'm of the belief I like people at least having like neutral energy towards me, especially when we've shared that many intimate moments.
Sure.
So I get where she's coming from, not wanting to invalidate him.
But I think she's going to have to say something.
That's top comment is not overreacting, go, or you'll have a lifetime of cleaning up after him and playing the role of mommy.
Oh yeah, big time.
I want to add that you suddenly leaving and breaking up will be very harsh, but it may be just the wake-up call he needs. Either way, please don't make this man's journey to grow up be your problem at all.
Yeah. Oh my God. Please don't. I think she's already gone. I think she left that parking lot after getting 400 comments in 15 minutes. Okay, here we go. This is from the Reddit thread Parenting. Mother-in-law's mushroom trip created obsession with my daughter. We have a good relationship with my mother-in-law. She tends to be self-centered and teenager-ish, but she cares about us and our kids. Recently, she did magic mushrooms in a therapeutic way. She says someone was there to guide her and her friend group through it, but I'm not sure if it was a licensed professional or what. Anyway, so she's telling us about her experience, and it sounds like it's been positive for her, and she's hoping to change for the better, which is all great. I guess she, quote, transformed into a little child in a forest. Surrounded by fireflies and fairies, and all which again is great. I guess her child self looked a lot like my young daughter, which makes sense because DNA. But now it seems like she's developed some obsession with my daughter, and it's kind of starting to freak me out. She's buying her fairy / woodland stuff. Keeps mentioning their new deep bond, and wrote my daughter a card saying something like, quote, "You and I are very connected in a special way. I'll tell you more about it when you're older." Am I overreacting? I'm glad she had a good experience, and I think she's trying to be sweet, but something about it doesn't sit right in my gut and has me going mama bear a bit. Should I do / say anything? What would you do? Mother-in-law's mushroom trip created obsession with my daughter. What do you think, AJ?
It's so great. Well, hopefully it will wear off a little bit.
The obsession with the daughter or mushrooms?
Just like the initial ecstasy or that post, shroom energy. I feel like it eventually dies down a little bit. It's kind of endearing.
Right.
I get where she's coming from, but I think it like is sweet. If anything, I think that like shrooms kind of tap you in to, I don't know, like what it means to be human. And I think especially as a woman, it like puts you in line with that sort of feminine energy and our ability to like create life. So maybe it just lent that perspective.
For sure.
And she just finds it super special and like bearing witness to that in her grandchild.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think it obviously was a significant experience for Miss Mother-in-Law. I think that it'll probably fade or it'll get stronger.
That's true.
And she'll start braiding her armpit hair and she's going to start finding the fairy circles and all the little forests in the Pacific Northwest, which would also be a beautiful journey and like probably would make her less, self-centered and teenager-ish. But I think like the mom that is writing this, the poster writing this, her saying her mama bear is coming out. It sounds more like she didn't really like the mother-in-law that much. She's like, okay, I tolerate her. She's nice enough, but she's kind of annoying. And now she's like trying to connect to my daughter, which means I have to deal with her more, or I don't connect to my daughter as much as she does.
Yeah.
So it seems more about that and less about the magic mushrooms because, grandma's like saying weird stuff, but not that weird. Like, I'll tell you when you're older. We're very connected. It's like kind of weird, but kind of still in the zone of like just grandmas being eccentric and like kind of just sounds like a Disney movie. Like, like they're going to open some weird door or some portal and then they're going to enter through a little gnome.
True, Narnia.
Yeah, Narnia. Exactly. I think like if I was the daughter and my grandma was just like, we're so connected, I'll tell you when you're older, I'd be like, I can't wait to get older and find out what happened when my grandma was tripping balls and pissed off my mom.
I think so too.
But I think mom's overreacting. I think she needs to chill. I think she needs to do a little psilocybin.
I know.
Right?
Right? Get on the same wavelength. Yeah, I think at the end of the day, if the grandma's harmless enough and they're both chasing joy, chasing the light,
yes,
then that's a beautiful influence to have in your child's life. I mean, we've heard so many mother-in-law stories.
Yes. This is like pretty tame. She's buying your kid some like fairy woodland creature stuff. I'm sure the kid loves that shit. I mean, you could set limits if she starts to be like, can I build a fairy house in your backyard that I want to live in and everybody come back? Then maybe you like, you go back to it. But let's see what these commenters have to say. Oh, excuse me, top commenter. Yeah, absolutely not appropriate or healthy. It's great your mother-in-law had a good trip, but she needs to be reminded that it was her experience, not your daughter's. They do not have some special connection or bond just because she had a positive drug experience. Honestly, I wouldn't beat around the bush with that and state it to her bluntly.
Wow.
That's crazy. That's so intense. That commenter has also never done shrooms. Okay, this person says, Do you think your husband or you, if you have the relationship, could kind of casually bring up the card and ask her more about what she meant by having a special bond with your daughter, but in a casual, this is so interesting, tell me more way, instead of an accusatory one, so she doesn't get defensive? I mean, I don't know. How is it inappropriate? She's not saying, oh, I did magic mushrooms and I'll tell you about it when you're older, right?
Yeah.
Like to the kid, it's probably like, wow, grandma's like a lot nicer now and she's buying me weird stuff. What's wrong with that?
I don't think it's that weird. And I think there's ways to like gently help the grandmother reframe her experience or
Right.
make it more,
Right.
applicable to the everyday.
Right. Or mother-in-law, daughter-in-law, psilocybin trip, bonded for life.
That's true.
Then they both get really weird. Now the husband's writing in. My mom and daughter are huge hippies and I don't know what to do. I think she's overreacting and I think she needs to at least do a micro.
Yeah, I think so too.
Bare min.
This is another mother-in-law.
Uh-oh.
Am I overreacting? My mother-in-law texted my husband this about me, asking him to help with our newborn at 4 a.m.
Oh,
I'll start with the text. This is from the mother-in-law to her son.
okay.
Your father told me that wife wants you to get up and feed the baby at 4 a.m. I think that is a big request. Does she not think your sleep is equally as important? Especially when you have to be behind the wheel driving early in the morning and then needing to function using your brain at work. It's not like you can take a nap in the middle of the day at work. I will not say anything to her, don't worry, but I do hope you voice your honest feelings about that to your wife. These newest first days and weeks as a new mom and dad are special in a learning, growing, and bonding time for the three of you. Does it bother you at all that the two of you haven't had much time to experience that alone? Anyway, just worry about you. I understand that you didn't physically give birth, but that doesn't mean your worries, your stress, and your sleep are less. Hugs. We love you very much. You are doing such a good job, and more than I've seen most fathers do. We are so proud of you, son. Good night, sweetheart.
Oh my God.
And so OP goes on to explain, I had a traumatic labor in December that ended in an emergency C-section. My doctor said recovery is about 8 to 10 weeks, and I'm only supposed to be lifting my baby. Since we got home, I've basically been doing newborn care day and night. My husband even took 2 weeks off work, but somehow I'm still the one up constantly while he sleeps through everything. I swear this man could sleep through a Mack truck driving through the bedroom. One night I asked if he could help with a 4 a.m. feed so I could get a little sleep. This, in theory, would give me 3 hours of sleep. I was afraid of passing out with baby in my arms.
Oh my God.
Apparently he mentioned it to his dad, not even his mom. His dad told his mom, and then she decided to insert herself into our marriage and send him a long message about how she hopes he's standing his ground with me because waking up at 4 a.m. to feed his own baby is a big request. She went on about how his sleep is important because he has to drive and use his brain at work. Meanwhile, I'm recovering from major abdominal surgery and barely sleeping. I'm also taking care of a little human. My doctor literally told me I shouldn't be doing much besides caring for the baby. My mom has been helping with cooking and cleaning because physically I'm not supposed to be doing everything right now. His parents live down the street, but instead of offering help, my mother-in-law is texting my husband, telling him to push back on me, asking for basic help with his own child. She also has a problem with my mom being there to help me. Weird. So apparently the postpartum woman recovering from a C-section should just handle the baby all night by herself while dad protects his sleep. Cool. Good to know. Honestly, the audacity is wild. Last time I asked her to help me with baby was 2 months ago. She sat on the couch all day with her phone and watching baby through the baby monitor. Did not help me cook or clean. I happened to overhear a convo between father-in-law and mother-in-law while I was napping. When father-in-law dropped off her a breakfast sandwich, she asked why there was 2, and he was like, for our daughter-in-law.
Oh my God.
She texted my husband saying how I was being mean to the dog because I told her to lay down and go away when I had food. Pet aversion is a real thing during postpartum. This woman was judging me my every move. That was the last time I asked for her help. Now baby is 12 weeks old, and she has seen her a limited amount of times. I don't want her near my baby. She showed me what type of person she is, and I don't know how to move on from this. For context, my husband is aware of her behavior, and he has called her out multiple times. Her excuse for her behavior is that she lost 2 sons, and as a mother, she wants the best for her grown son. I confronted her about the text and how disappointed I was about it, and she said it wasn't her intention. I'm trying to move on from this, but I don't know if it's the postpartum, but I still don't feel her apology was genuine. I hate her more than ever, and I don't want her near my child. Am I overreacting?
No, I mean, I would be moving. I don't know why you guys are living a block away from each other. I think maybe hubby, good thing he's banking up all his sleeping hours so he can help do the move because you guys got to get the hell out of there. I don't think she's overreacting. She's obviously like in a high stress, sleep deprived state right now. There's a lot of things that jumped out to me. None of them were good. I think that the mother-in-law sounds like a lazy nightmare, and she raised a son that sounds also like a lazy nightmare. She didn't name one thing that this king has done to help, except have a mom that lives a block away who comes over and judges her and looks at her phone. When the mother-in-law said in the text, like, it's not like you can take a nap at work, my beautiful, precious son. Do you think that she can take a nap at home when she's being like sucked dry and hasn't slept in months? Like, it just seems like, I don't know what it was like when he was a newborn, but she seems so out of touch with like the reality of what is going on in that house.
Yeah. And I know like she has had distance from raising her own babies. And I think sometimes what I find challenging with certain mothers-in-laws, especially if they're only boy moms, they don't have a daughter who's narrating her emotional journey and experience. So they're a little bit more emotionally offline. But at the same time, okay, let's say that her husband is out there just, you know, winning big in the job marketplace and the rest of it.
Sure.
Hire a night nurse for your wife.
Right.
Like, I think like...
I think it's crazy to have your wife, your daughter-in-law at home recovering from major surgery, a newborn, and mom's going paragraph after paragraph about how she has to protect her baby boy's sleep. It's like, again, get a room.
Yeah.
The boy moms are on watch. They need to get it together. I don't know what splits off. I'm going to recommend magic mushrooms for this queen as well. But no, I don't think she's overreacting. I mean, I hate this woman. I wouldn't want her near my kid either. Unfortunately, that's probably going to not be.
Yeah.
They're going to have to figure out a way to work it out. But yeah, she definitely sounds like she's got a nasty energy, this mother-in-law.
And I think, you know, postpartum is so real, and especially during this moment in time, like she needs to protect her own emotions and own internal stability. So who cares if you put distance in the relationship?
Who cares? Yeah,
I'm
get
sure
away
you
from
won't
me.
get the hint, but you need to protect your own peace.
And the mom's not trying to do anything to make them closer. She's lying to the daughter-in-law's face. What apology was there? There was no apology. Like, oh, she apologized. Like, oh, that wasn't my intention. What was your intention? You spoke so directly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely not want her.
Let's see,
near me or
top
my
comment. Not overreacting. Sounds like your father-in-law thinks more about you and your well-being than your mother-in-law does. I'm willing. I know that was so cute bringing the sandwich.
Crazy. Who's the other one for?
I'm willing to bet he made a passing comment about what your husband said and she ran with it. Heaven forbid your man has to act like a parent. She needs to crawl back into the hole she came out of. Pennies are no longer useful, so no one needs her 2 cents.
Oh,
and OP
I like
goes,
that.
OP goes, that's so...
Pennies are no longer useful, babe, so nobody needs your 2 cents.
100%. My husband told her to back off and stop making comments or she will not see the baby. He also confronted his dad about how he doesn't like how he tells his mom his business because she blows things out of proportion. He has a close relationship with his father.
I think the dad, the dad of the baby, great for hypothetically faked saying that's your mom, which I don't even believe. But even if he did, amazing. I would say we can get him working a little bit harder and maybe go ahead and just help with your kid and alleviate something and take something off of her plate. Like, I just don't, it's just shocking to me. Like, you can see the result. You can see the person in front of you that's like literally dying, and you're just like, sleep. How do you sleep at night, sir? They could sleep through a Mack truck. Well, tap, 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 wake the fuck up because your baby is crying and you have to help me with this.
Completely.
Took 2 weeks off for work. Give me a fucking break. Okay. Not overreacting. All these people are on my naughty list. Okay. This is from Am I Overreacting? Am I overreacting about a wedding guest's requests right before my wedding and how I responded? Okay. I genuinely don't know if I'm being dramatic or if this was actually as inappropriate as it felt. About 2 weeks before my wedding, my husband's friend's wife, a woman I had only met for maybe a few minutes at another event a year earlier, started messaging me directly with multiple requests because she's a new mom with a 1-year-old. At first, she asked me to send her the entire day of timeline. Then she asked if I could arrange a private room or vanity space at the venue so she could pump. She also told me she might have to skip the ceremony because it could conflict with her hotel check-in time. The hotel, by the way, was literally a 5-minute walk from the venue. Even though I was already overwhelmed with final wedding logistics, I still tried to be gracious and agreed to everything. Whoa. Then, 2 days before the wedding, when I was at peak stress mode, she messaged me again asking if I could check with the venue about packing up their dinner for them. I wasn't even sure what she meant. Leftovers? Arranging extra meals to go? She explained it was because her baby has separation anxiety. She then shared her baby's nap schedule with me and how she needs to go in and out of the venue to check on her. But her parents were watching the baby, and again, the hotel was extremely close. Again, this woman is basically a stranger to me, so I was confused and furious when she sent me a few lengthy messages oversharing her baby's feeding and nap schedules. I don't even know your daughter's name. I met you for a few minutes like a year or two ago. At that point, something in me just snapped internally. It felt like an avalanche of very personal logistical demands being placed directly on me by someone I barely know at one of the most high-pressure moments of my life. I ended up replying with a very cold, short message saying I couldn't make any more arrangements that late. I didn't acknowledge her being a new mom or validate her situation at all. I was just mentally exhausted and honestly so irritated. Am I overreacting for still feeling bothered by this? And was my cold response out of line?
Not at all. Wow, that's insane.
Oh.
Oh my God, what a bleeding heart mother. Like, we get it, you have a baby.
Wow.
But these all feel like immensely personal problems.
Right. But you're forgetting the woman in question. She's the first woman who's ever had a baby and has gone to a wedding. So you got to give some credit where credit is due. The comfort of the entitlement to ask somebody, to ask any bride, to ask your bride if that was your sister, you know?
That's insane.
Yes. Are there any checks and balances like at play? Like, does she have a partner that maybe would be like, hey, maybe just, you know, this is like my friend from work and like we've never met them? Or like, yeah, why do you think she just feels so entitled?
Yeah, I probably would have maybe deflected to my future husband because it sounds like it was his relationship, right? With the husband.
Right. The husbands
and
are
had
friends.
him tee up, be like, sorry.
Yeah.
So-and-so's busy. So like finalizing all the details, like happy to help in any way, but it's kind of late now. So I'm hoping that you can finesse those final details yourself.
Right. But not even, this has been going on for months that there's been lists. So it's actually like she probably needs to hire a wedding planner just to coordinate the details of this stranger who's attending her wedding, who also has 2 parents at the hotel that are staying and helping with her. It's just giving like,
and I love the to-go meals. Like you can't get any other food.
Insane. But that is like, that's how so many people are, that over entitlement. And then they have kids. And then all of a sudden they think that because they have a child, they like to think that that means that they're not selfish anymore. But they actually oftentimes become 1,000 times more selfish because now it's just about them and their kid. So not only were they already the most important person in the world, but their kid now is too. So anybody that's crossing into that, I think like the fact that it's a wedding specifically is what makes it the most egregious, because this person with the baby has no problem asking for so many requests to make herself as comfortable and specific as, bitch, I don't care what your nap schedule is. Your husband doesn't even know the nap schedule. Like, why would you ever send that to me? You're so delusional. But like, isn't it basic etiquette? You never ask the bride or groom like a question about like you try your best to ask a bunch of other people.
Yes.
You know, like on the wedding day, you're not really supposed to be like texting the groom, like, wait, where should I park? Or like, right? Is that not basic etiquette? I feel like if I've heard of it, it's gotta be pretty universal, you know? That's the part too. It's like, why are you bothering them? Why are you bothering them? Imagine what it's like if you're actually friends with this queen. Wait, there is actually an update. Let's just see. Update. She did apologize. Oh, I'll believe it when I see it. She did apologize and technically showed up to my wedding. What a gift. But she skipped the actual ceremony and only came during cocktail hour reception. She spent most of the time taking photos and videos for her Instagram content. I can't. Drinking, partying, using all the props, and then left. When I checked her IG the next day, she had uploaded at least 40 vids and photos from my wedding. What made it sting more is that we spent around $800 on food and drinks for a party of 2. What? And in that moment, it honestly just felt like a crazy waste. Like, did I just spend almost $1,000 on unwanted, entitled guests I barely know? It wasn't even about the money. It was the feeling that one of the most meaningful days of my life was treated like a content stop. I'm trying to move past it, but I'd be lying if I said it didn't really irritate and hurt me. That is kind of a curveball.
Yeah.
So she's a momfluencer?
I guess so.
So she wanted all that set up so that she could get lit and like do the photo booth props, like 40 videos and photos from a wedding of someone you don't know. She must have.
She's pretty shameless. So
damn. Well, we wish her love and light, right, Kath? But I don't think you're overreacting. And I think next time, don't invite people to your wedding unless they're actual close friends of yours. Those people can still behave terribly, but at least you'll have a history with them and you could be like, stop.
Am I overreacting for getting out of his car and Ubering home after a message popped up on the dash?
Oh.
I, 20 female, have been with my boyfriend, 22 male, for about 1.5 years. We live in the same city and I'm at his place basically every night. I really thought we were on the same page about everything until last night. We were driving to get food and his phone was plugged into the car for the GPS. A message popped up on the screen from a girl's name I didn't know, and it literally said, "Are you coming over later?
Oh.
I miss you." I just froze. I didn't even yell. I just asked who that was, and he immediately ripped the cord out of his phone and started acting super jumpy. He told me I misread it and that it was actually a text from his sister asking about dinner.
Oh.
I told him his sister has a different name, and he just started raising his voice saying I'm paranoid and always looking for a reason to fight. He wouldn't show me the phone and kept saying I was invading his privacy by staring at his screen while he was driving.
Oh my God.
He literally told me I'm being delusional and that my anxiety is ruining a good thing. I told him to pull over at a gas station, and I just got out and called an Uber because the gaslighting was making me feel like I was actually losing it. Now he's blowing up my phone, saying I'm immature for jumping out of the car and that I'm too unstable to be in a relationship if I'm going to freak out over a random notification.
Whoa.
He's making me feel like I'm the one who messed up, but I know what I saw. Am I overreacting? Am I actually being too much, or is he obviously cheating?
You're not overreacting. He's obviously cheating. He's obviously a massive gaslighter. I mean, even if he didn't pull over, it might have been worth a ladybird at that point because this guy is not innocent. Yeah, get the hell out of there. What a nightmare. Block him. Literally block him. There's nothing else to do. That's crazy.
Crazy.
God. And people are so stupid too. Like you're cheating on your girlfriend and you're gonna just like, you don't think she's gonna see you have it plugged in.
You don't have a privacy screen?
No, I know. I mean, here at TGOT, we are a huge pro privacy screen. We're pro DND. Could have never happened. But yeah, she needs to get the hell away from him. I'm glad she identified that it's gaslighting, but she's still feeling the effect. Like she's just she's defining it. So yeah, not overreacting.
Yeah, top comment. You know the answer already. I'm very sorry. Don't waste any more time on this person than you already have. Another, exactly. The biggest tell wasn't even the message. It was how fast he jumped to hiding the phone and attacking OP instead of just calmly explaining. People who aren't doing anything shady usually don't react like that.
Yes, exactly.
Liars always argue. The innocent always clarifies.
Whoa. Yeah, the jumpiness, obviously, like she knows what she saw. She doesn't, she's only questioning it because and that I'm sure she's already experienced in that relationship if they've been together for a year and a half, but it's only going to get way worse. His go-to method when called out for doing something wrong or making a mistake is to try to make her feel crazy. That is not going to be a good situation.
Yeah, because even if it was, let's say, like an ex from years and years ago who randomly hit him up, which if he actually thought on his feet, he could have explained that. So clearly the defensiveness is like, this is an ongoing background situation.
Yeah. And also like, which is it, King? Is it a random notification? Is it your sister? I love that she said your sister has a different name.
Oh yeah. She said, are you coming over later? So
are you coming over later? I miss you. Yeah, if that was your sister, kind of weird that your sister's so out of touch that she doesn't realize that text would sound like a booty call. We know it's not.
Yeah, I mean, he could have easily been like, this is a delusional ex who kind of is a little stalkerish.
Right,
like,
he could have gaslit her in that way. Right, he could have at least been smart about it. Yeah, that's such a good point. If you're gonna gaslight somebody, at least do it in a way that, is conducive to setting up future opportunities for you to lie and set that system up. That's so smart, Kath.
So definitely not overreacting.
No, not overreacting at all. Underreacting, honestly. Like I said, I wouldn't have even had him pull over.
Just do the tuck and roll.
I would have tucked and rolled that shit. Get away from me. Okay, this is from the red thread. Am I overreacting? Am I overreacting for unplugging the Wi-Fi every night because my roommate's girlfriend basically lives here? My friend mate and I live together in an apartment. Everything was divided 50-50. Groceries, bills, rent, and so forth. Her girlfriend is the problem. She used to visit a few times a week, completely typical. After that, it became staying over most evenings. Right now, she's present each and every day, works from our living room, eats our food, sleeps here, and takes showers here. She even began to act as though she lived here by leaving clothes in the restroom. However, she makes no payment. I attempted to gently bring it up, saying that because there's now essentially a third person present, we should review utilities. He became very defensive, claiming that she was merely a guest and that I was, quote, counting pennies, a visitor who has been here for 3 weeks. The thing that pushed me over the edge is the Wi-Fi. I work early mornings and need decent internet at night to prep stuff, but she's constantly streaming or gaming. Our connection has gotten noticeably worse. So I started unplugging the router at night before I go to bed. Now both of them are mad. My roommate says I'm being petty and controlling, and her girlfriend made some comment about, quote, me not knowing how to share space, but I didn't agree to live with her. Am I overreacting for unplugging the Wi-Fi every night because my roommate's girlfriend basically lives here? What do you think, Kath? It's kind of funny to think about.
It is funny. So it's been 3 weeks?
3 weeks, I think they've been dating longer than that, but I think 3 weeks, like it's been full bevers in Broad City. Like she's working from home at their place. She's eating all their food and gaming all night.
Yeah. I would say I probably would give this sort of thing like a month sunset provision before, I mean, realistically, I rethought the living situation in general.
Yeah.
I would say he could also ask his roommate to get his own Wi-Fi. It's not crazy. People can have two different Wi-Fi sorts of thing if he does need it for work.
That's true.
But it seems like if this is going to be a continued reality, they need to reassess their living situation.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder where the girlfriend lives. Because I'm imagining it's probably maybe not that nice, or maybe she's just more, I don't know, she's more comfortable because it's her boyfriend's place. So like they could go to their place. Like this guy's not happy to have them there. Like, I don't see how that would be so comfortable. Does she have another place? We don't technically know.
Yeah.
I just like the specificity of like turning the router off overnight so that she can't game. There's something very funny about that, and very petty, because like, is the router like in his room? So he's like, good night, everybody, turns the internet off for the night and then like locks his door.
Yeah.
Because why can't people just turn
I think
it back
he
on?
could just be a little bit more upfront about it. So like, to me, this reads a little passive aggressive.
Yeah.
It's his home.
Yes.
He has every right to feel what he's feeling. And so it
Yes.
seems like the Wi-Fi is just symptomatic of the larger issue.
For sure.
She's spending too much time in a space that's not hers.
Yes.
And so I think if anything, if you call out a person on that, then they're kind of forced to respond to you in real time. And then you
Right.
can sort it out with her directly.
Right. I think also the money piece of it, like, I think that is valid to feel like, I mean, if she's eating all your, I don't know, the roommates are sharing groceries, she's eating all your groceries and like all those types of things. I feel like sometimes people hone in on the money in issues like this because it's a tangible thing. So they can be like, you need to pay half of this or you need to do that, because that's easier than saying like, can we say that there's a max of like 3 nights a week, or, you know, can you go over there some of the time or something like that? But yeah, long term. But why does he have to give up his apartment?
No, I don't think
know.
so. I think if anything, he could, you know, kind of speak to her directly and be like, hey, like, I love you two together. Happy to have you here. It'd be great if like a few nights a week, I had like my own space.
Yeah.
And like, you know, I'm happy for you to eat from the fridge and whatnot, but also too, like, you can buy some groceries every now and then. Like it would be rare, and also telling to her and maybe show his friend that she's not a long-term fit if he would say, hey, can you pick up groceries every now and then?
Right.
And she pushed back and got, you know, awkward or avoidant about it.
But what about inviting her to move in and just splitting the rent 3 ways?
Yeah,
and
that
then
could work
she
as
lives
well.
there. It's like, you're living here anyway.
Yeah.
Right. Have you ever had a roommate situation like that where you lived with someone who had a guest that was over a lot?
I don't think so.
No. Okay.
Yeah, actually, I guess maybe like a roommate if they were dating someone more long distance, but it wasn't ever that prolonged.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think women are kind of more oriented. They're a little bit more hypersensitive to that as well. Like they like to make sure they're keeping the peace with their roommate.
Yes.
So they're a little bit more mindful.
Right.
I can see when it's reversed, it's 2 men and a woman's imposing.
Yeah.
I think women can be a little bit more,
Yeah. I don't know why this situation is just making me laugh. Like, it's not funny, and I do feel for the guy. I do think he's overreacting in the sense of there's other things that he could do, just speaking directly, or like to your point, just saying, I'm turning the Wi-Fi off, or yeah, you need to get a separate Wi-Fi. I'm sorry, like, this is literally for my job. You don't live here. It's literally the B storyline of Broad City. It's like, you don't get out of my house.
Yeah.
Go away. But I think this is a thing people deal with a lot. And it is tricky because it's like, you want to keep the peace of your roommate, but then you also, you know, it's your home, and you don't want to date that person. I've definitely lived with people where I'm like, I don't want to date that queen. So now I have to hang out with them all the time. Why don't you guys go kick rocks? Go somewhere else.
yeah.
I don't think that he should say, help yourself. I'm happy to have you here, and help yourself to the food, though, because that doesn't feel true. Or you're just like saying that to be nice.
Well, just meaning, like, I think it's more, how do you prompt suggesting that she should be contributing groceries if she's going to basically be eating them?
Yeah.
I think that's just like a sign of good faith.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know how else you bring that up, like in a very...
You put a padlock on the fridge.
In a civil way.
You clear off a little shelf for her, and you can bring your own food.
Okay, this is from Am I Overreacting? Am I overreacting to break up with my boyfriend of 3 years over his reaction to my upcoming sobriety anniversary?
Oh.
This is the text from her. I'm thinking about getting myself a cake for December 12th. He goes, why? 2 years sober. Yeah, but why would you get a cake? Just to celebrate. So you're celebrating doing the bare minimum, LOL.
Oh.
It's something that took work and has been difficult for me. But you still need my validation to buy yourself a cake. No, I'm not looking for validation. I wanted to share with you since I thought you'd be happy for me. He says, no, you wanted a pat on the back from me, and now you're pissed I didn't give it to you because I'm not going to act like you're a hero for doing the bare minimum. You are the one who chose to drink too much. Don't make it everyone's problem.
Oh my God.
She says, why are you talking to me like this? Are you having a bad day at work? He goes on, I'm just being real with you. This is not something worth buying a cake over. Like, do not go around telling our friends about this because it will look bad.
What?
She says, okay, never mind. Did you want to go somewhere after work? He says, I'm watching the game with a friend. Okay, I'll see you at home. And then she goes on, alcoholism was something I struggled with in my 20s, and I finally got into therapy and got sober. I did smart recovery, and it's been a lot of hard work changing a lot of my habits, and it's something I'm proud of. I thought I'd get a cake. The screenshots are from the conversation with my boyfriend when I was thinking about it. He acted normal when he got home, but the way he talked to me really hurt my feelings. The kind of relationship I want is one where I can share something like this and the other person would be like, that's awesome. Or even, I'll pick it up for you or something. I don't need or want a parade, but I feel like my person should celebrate with me. I'm thinking of ending it with him because the more I think about this, the sadder it makes me feel. But I'm posting about this because I know Reddit is very unforgiving and strict about addiction, and maybe you guys will show me how I'm blowing it out of proportion. I don't want to walk away too soon. He has never talked to me so negatively before, saying stuff like, you wanted a pat on the back, and I'm not going to act like you're a hero, doesn't feel like the way a good partner would talk. Am I overreacting?
No. It doesn't feel like the way a good partner would talk because it's not the way that a good partner would talk. Number one, huge congratulations. Being sober for 2 years is a huge accomplishment, a huge deal by yourself, all the fucking cakes. That is the new big important anniversary in your life because there's no more with this loser. He's an absolute dick. I hate everything that he said and he's canceled.
Yeah. And I think sobriety is something that most individuals fight so fiercely for. And so the thing that I dislike the most about him is after 3 years of being together, he should have an appreciation
of course,
for just like the day-to-day choice and devotion that takes. And I think almost speaking to someone in this way, it's like, are you trying to inspire maybe a lapse or something? Like it's very cold and dismissive and, you know, is counterintuitive to supporting them in their healthier choices.
I completely agree. This guy he's nasty. Like he's so condescending, so rude, so mean, so unaware. If he's never spoken to you like this before, I'm glad to hear that. He's never going to speak to you like that again. You need to get the hell away from this guy. Horrible, like worst response.
And I mean, it can take years for like a mask to slip.
For sure.
But he's obviously showed you who he is.
And so now you got to listen to it. Yeah.
Top comment, the bare minimum for a boyfriend would have been to be happy for you. Not only was he celebrating you, he insulted you and minimized something that is big and very hard and very important to you. It's gross and unkind and you deserve better. But enough of him and on to you. Congrats on your hard work. It is not easy nor bare minimum, especially in today's society. You absolutely deserve to celebrate. If people judge you for that, they are not your people.
Yep.
I hope you are kind to yourself today. You should absolutely get yourself the cake.
Yeah. I couldn't even imagine how you could respond like that. Like, I actually can't. It's just so mean. This is your girlfriend that you live with.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit. How do you talk to people that you don't care about? That's scary as hell. Yeah, she needs to get away from this fool. What is going on? And then like the switch just like, oh, do you still want to meet up later? Like that made me sad. Oh, I'm going to hang out with my friend. How do you have friends? Oh, I mean, actually, I understand why he has friends because there's a lot of nasty people in the world. Okay, this is from my new favorite Reddit thread, gentleparenting. Am I overreacting? My mom called my 5-year-old son, quote, a mean-spirited person, and I gave her an ultimatum. So this is another text, apparently. This is the new thing on Reddit. Here we go. Okay. So the mom says, I hate feeling like we're fighting. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings, and I'd never say or do anything to hurt Michael's feelings. I didn't say anything to him at all. Daughter writes, I'm more in disbelief that you would immediately jump to conclusions and accuse him of intentionally hurting his baby brother and then having the belief that he is mean-spirited and a bad child. That's fucked up, and no child deserves to have a grandparent believe that of them. The grandma writes back, I didn't jump to any conclusion. I was standing right there. Daughter, and whether you meant to hurt mine or his feelings or not, impact is greater than intention. Michael knows you blamed him despite you not saying anything to him, and he's hurt by it. I'm hurt by it. This is not okay. The grandma says, like I said, I was standing right there. Okay, so the poster writes, my kid stayed the night with my mom on Saturday night and things went well until around 10 a.m. Sunday morning. She called me and told me my 5-year-old pushed my 16-month-old off the couch and hurt the baby. Then she went on to say, quote, I don't know why he's so mean, like he's just a mean-spirited person. I immediately said, don't talk about my child that way. And she was like, well, that's the truth. I told her I was coming to pick up my children and hung up on her. Upon picking up my kids, my 5-year-old said he didn't touch the baby. He just happened to be closest to him, and she blamed him for the baby falling off the couch. To me, this checks for a few reasons. 1, my son has never intentionally hurt his baby brother. 2, my toddler has entered his climbing phase where he's climbing and jumping off things like couches and such. I'm pissed that she just has that belief that my 5-year-old is just a mean and bad child. Imagine the self-esteem issues that would cause for a child's pretty much only grandparent having the opinion that they're mean. I haven't talked to her until today, which are the text exchanges. Sorry about not blocking out the names. I don't know how. I'm very surprised when after I told her I didn't want to go low contact, that she was just like, okay, bye, instead of being like, I'll do anything I can to repair this relationship because it's important to me. That hurts so fucking much because all I'm asking for is an apology, self-reflection, and accountability. Like, is that really that fucking hard? So now I'm wondering, am I overreacting?
Not at all. This is her actual mother.
That's her actual mother.
No, I think she's totally valid.
These boomer moms today are really popping off. I mean, all I'm asking for is an apology, self-reflection, and accountability. That is that fucking hard for most people, though. Like, that is a big ask. But I mean, what do you like?
That's crazy.
What would you have done if that would have happened to you? You get that text, like, would you have done the same thing, driven over, or like, what would you have done?
Yeah, I mean, I think little boys especially, like they go through fits of sort of aggression when they're kind of coming online in that way. So I don't think that's unusual.
But did the kid have a fit of aggression? Do you think that the kid did something?
No, and it probably was he was like not aware of his own strength and was climbing, and it just kind of happened. I think if anything, you reinforce gentler behavior in a more positive way.
I think that the grandma wasn't paying attention. The kid fell off the couch and got hurt, and she would rather blame her 5-year-old grandson than say, I wasn't paying attention and the kid got hurt. And then taking the step to saying, oh, he's such a mean-spirited child. Like, that is the part that would be, because like a little kid, like they will act out sometimes, but it's definitely not fair to blame the kid if they didn't really do anything. And even if they did do something like that, the grandma calling what a mean-spirited child you have, I'd be like, you're the mean-spirited one, witch. So take your broom and get the hell out of my house and watch your grandkids better. Right?
I think so. Wait, I have one final quick one.
Okay, please.
Just funny. Am I overreacting? My new boyfriend wants to replace all of my bras, underwear, and lingerie.
Oh, wow.
I know this might sound strange. This is from the boyfriend. I know this might sound strange, but I want you to get rid of any underwear, bras, and any form of lingerie you have.
Whoa.
I hate the idea that other guys have seen you and used you in them. It bothers me a lot. Poster goes, wait, I can't tell if this is a joke. You want me to throw away my whole drawer? Between my lingerie, sets, bras, and panties, I have it's at least 1K. No joke. Boyfriend responds, I know it sounds intense, but I want you and us to start totally fresh.
Holy.
She says, it's clothing. It doesn't hold any meaning like that to me. Plus, I like my bra sets, and I have loads of different designs. He says, I can take you shopping and you can replace and get new. I'll pay for everything.
Wow.
She sends an emoji face and he says, come on. I need advice on this ASAP. I'm 18 and my boyfriend is 19 and we recently just got into this relationship together. He said this to me today, and I'm not sure what to think. Is this a red flag, and should I run, or am I overreacting? The lingerie part I sort of understand, but bras and underwear?
Run. 18 and 19 makes that so scary. Also, what was his phrasing? He said that like he doesn't want her wearing anything that other guys have used her in. That's the biggest red flag of all, because that's how he views his girlfriend, as a piece of property that he's just gonna use for his own sexual interest. Also, there's no trust, there's no foundation of like any respect. Oh, I'll buy it for, it's not about the money, king. I don't want to go with you to Target and buy a bag of underwear and then you tell me that it's okay.
And that was top comment. Used you. Ugh. Excuse me, used you.
Yeah.
WTF. This type of attitude is not okay. You're not a commodity. You are not used.
Yep.
Do not ignore this major red flag. Walk away now. He is testing your limits. He is seeing if you will give up this boundary.
Yeah.
And then he will push until you give up another boundary and another and another. Abusive and controlling relationships start with these types of demands.
Yeah.
I get where he's coming from.
Do you?
But in the sense of, then gift her new lingerie. Be like, hey, babe, I'd love to see you in this. Like, if it really bothers him, I think he could. Yes, I think like the boundary is bizarre in that way.
But he wants her to clear everything out. Which part? But you get where he's coming from with what? Like not wanting her to wear lingerie she's worn for other guys?
I think men can kind of be sensitive to picturing their partner with other men. Okay. And so I guess maybe that's what her lingerie is inspiring in his mind.
Well, then he can go to therapy or learn how to meditate and get that out of his mind. How many, like they're 18 and 19, like how many people have they both been with?
Completely.
No, this guy is scary as hell. And when he grows up, he's going to be the one jumping around and unplugging his phone in a couple of years. And then when he gets some poor woman pregnant, he's going to be the one that's going to have his mom texting and saying, you know, you deserve sleep, and your whore of a wife who just gave you a baby should just, you know, lock it up. She needs to get the hell away from that guy.
I think next.
Jesus.
So any fan favorites from the episode?
Who's the worst?
Yeah.
Or the biggest overreaction?
Yeah, I guess so.
I'm saying biggest overreactor is the mom that didn't like that the grandma did shrooms and thinks that she has a special connection.
We'll pick that as the winner. I love that one.
We love you, fairy grandma, and we're happy that you discovered mushrooms and wish everybody well on their journey, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the app.